Hello, my name is Madison Sig, and my project is the effect of land use on water quality. In this experiment, I tested to see how land use affects the quality of the water of Rock Creek. Rock Creek is upstream of the Chesapeake Bay, so what happens in our water will end up contributing to the water quality of the Chesapeake Bay. We need to restore the bay to help save it and its resources. If the testing site of the stream is changed from upstream rural, upstream wastewater treatment plant, downstream wastewater treatment plant, and downstream rural that has passed through the town, then the chemical parameters that indicate stream health, which are dissolved oxygen, nitrate, pH, water temperature, conductivity, and water transparency, would be in the healthiest range upstream rural because as the water is moving downstream into the city, the stream may pick up more waste and pollutants from the land use and other merging streams as it travels through the town. The independent variable for this experiment is the location along the stream that is being tested. The dependent variable that will be measured are the levels of dissolved oxygen, nitrates, pH, water temperature, conductivity, and water transparency. DO and nitrates will both be measured in milligrams per liter. pH according to the logarithmic scale from 0 to 14. Water temperature will be measured in degrees Celsius. Conductivity will be measured in microsiemens per centimeter, and water temperature will be measured in centimeters. The control for this experiment is the day all the testing will take place, the time the tests are completed, and how the samples are collected and tested. This is a field scope map of the stream sites I tested. I was originally going to test different sites along Conewago Creek, but it was very hard to access those sites. So after consulting with Miss Bird from Gettysburg College and Advancing Science, I chose to evaluate Rock Creek instead. Miss Bird trained me, as well as my class, on how to use GLOBE protocols and the equipment. Mr. Toth trained Miss Bird and my teacher on GLOBE protocols and data entry on the GLOBE database. This is Site 1, downstream rural. The latitude is 39.7243. The longitude is -77.20873 and has an elevation of 119.9 meters. It was shaded and had a vegetated bank and a limestone bedrock. This is Site 2, downstream of the wastewater treatment plant. It has a latitude of 39.80357. The longitude is -77.21132 and an elevation of 130 meters. It was shaded, had a vegetated bank, and rocky, muddy stream bed. This is Site 3, upstream of the wastewater treatment plant. It had a latitude of 39.8308. The longitude is -77.21767 and an elevation of 141 meters. It was slightly shaded, had a vegetated bank, and a muddy stream bed. This is Site 4, upstream rural. It had a latitude of 39.85586. The longitude is -77.2241 and an elevation of 146 meters. It was shaded, had a vegetated bank, and a rocky, muddy stream bed. Dissolved oxygen is the amount of oxygen that is dissolved into the water. is important because without oxygen, the organisms in the stream wouldn't be able to breathe and would die. Conductivity measures the amount of electricity conducted through 2.54 centimeters of water. Conductivity is important because it tells how many different particles are in the water. pH is the measure of the concentration of hydrogen ions in a solution. pH values of 7 are neutral and are good for stream life. Low pH values are acidic. High pH values are basic, and these levels can be harmful to organisms in the stream. Nitrates are a form of nitrogen, which also include ammonia and nitrites, which are essential plant nutrients. Organisms produce waste, which turns into harmful ammonia, which bacteria breaks down into nitrites, which are also harmful. Then nitrites are broken down by bacteria into nitrates, which are not as harmful. If there are too many nitrates, then many plants grow. Sunlight can be blocked or nitrates can run out. The plants begin to die and fall to the bottom of the stream. Decomposers start to break down the plants using up all the dissolved oxygen and then end up in dead zone. Water temperature influences the diversity of the aquatic life in a body of water because different organisms can survive different temperatures. Water transparency measures the clarity of the water, which is important because the clearer the water, the more sunlight that can reach all the plant life, even at the bottom of the stream. Water transparency was measured using a homemade transparency tube following globe protocols. This graph shows the dissolved oxygen levels of the stream at Rock Creek using HAC dissolved oxygen kit. Dissolved oxygen is increasing over the testing period. This graph is showing nitrate levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the HAC nitrate kit. The nitrates are all decreasing except for Site 4. This is the nitrate levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the API Freshwater Master Kit. This is the pH graph of the levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the Vernier pH sensor. pH starts off slightly basic, but becomes more neutral during the testing period, except for Site 3 during week 4. This graph shows the water temperature levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the temperature probe. Water temperature decreased over the testing period. This graph showed the conductivity levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the Vernier conductivity probe. Conductivity increased very slightly over the testing period. This graph shows the transparency levels of the stream at Rock Creek using the transparency tube. Transparency levels slightly increased as well. This comparison graph shows dissolved oxygen and water temperature levels of Rock Creek at Site 1. The comparison graphs show that dissolved oxygen increases with when the temperature decreases for all sites. In this comparison graph of nitrates and conductivity levels of Rock Creek at Site 1, as the nitrate levels increase, so does the conductivity for all sites. In this comparison graph, the conductivity and transparency of levels of Rock Creek at Site 1 As the conductivity decreased, the transparency increased for all sites.